Hello guys, and welcome to What If Deku Was Darkrai Part 2. So we'll be having a little recap. So Deku had just gotten his new quirk, which basically, I believe, doubled. It was either 0.5 increase to his power, or it was double. I don't know. So he's overpowered. So a month passes, and Shigaraki gives Deku the responsibility to go recruit some more people. So Deku's walking around, and then he sees a man bleeding out, and then a scream, and then he runs over like, "Hello, what happened here?" And then he sees a little girl's like, "Ooh, a new victim." And then she runs at him, and then he stops her in place, and she's like, "What? What the heck?" And Izuku's like, "It has potential." And so he puts her to sleep, and then he brings her along on his shoulders. Like, he goes back to the villain's base, like, Hey, Tomura, I got a potential member." And then Tomura's like, "Wake them up." And then Izuku is like, "I'll try." And after lots of attempts, he can't find out how to. And he's like, I'm distraught with this. And keep in mind, no one knows his identity. Like, Uraraka doesn't think the villain she saw at the USJ was Deku, because she just wouldn't think that about him. So one day, Uraraka gets a random number, and Deku starts talking to her, and she's like super happy. And then eventually, near the end of the conversation, she asks, like, "Where are you, brother? I've missed you." And Deku's like, "That's for a different time. You will see me in the future, but maybe not as you would expect." And then Uraraka's like, "What do you mean?" And Deku's like, "You'll see. Trust me. Bye, sis." And then he hangs up the phone, and Uraraka starts crying, like, "Not again. I can't lose him again." And that happens. So eventually, Toga wakes up in a small room, and Deku, who's been waiting for her to wake up, like, screams out, like, "Yes, you're awake!" And then he walks over to her, like, "So, what's your kill count?" And Toga's like, "Straight to the point, I see. 117, and this shocks Deku, like, decently high. "What's your quirk, little girl?" And Toga's like, "Transform. If I get any amount of blood, the more amount of blood, the better. For a longer period of time, I can be in someone's body. Well, not inside, but I can become." And Deku's like, "Interesting." And then he yells for Tomura, like, "Tomura!" And then Shigaraki walks in, like, "What is it?" She could be really good for this. And Tomura's like, "Why?" "She could infiltrate UA." And Shigaraki's like, "Ooh, what's your quirk?" It's like, transform. The more blood she gets from a person, the longer the time she can have somebody's body. But she can't take over someone's body. It's like a doppelganger. And one whole cup of blood for a day is 1 day. So Deku is quite stoked about this. So Shigaraki welcomes Toga to the league, and in the couple of weeks past that, they recruit Dabi and Spinner and Muscular and all those guys. So eventually, a couple weeks pass, and Shigaraki comes in the door and is like, it's like, Izuku. And Izuku's like, what? And then Tomura's like, we're doing another operation. And Deku's like, finally? All we've been doing is racking up numbers. It's kind of boring. And Tomura's like, well, we're doing something finally. Deal with it. So, at this time, at this place, we will be attacking class 1A and 1B without All Might there, because he smiles at Izuku. That could have been a problem. So, yeah, I didn't mean to incorporate All Might there, so just ignore that mistake. So, Deku and friends, eventually one night, they get teleported to a hilltop in the training camp. So Deku and friends, well, not friends, more so just like comrades, they go off and it's like, everyone split up. We need to take all everyone we were assigned to take. Remember Katsuki Bakugo and what's his name? And Muscular chimes in like, Shoto. And Deku's like, yes, Shoto. And so after a while, Deku, walking in the forest, he finds somebody. And it's this bird guy with a giant, like, projection of himself. And this octopus looking guy. And he's like, ooh, maybe we could also get these guys. The more the better, after all. Hope boss doesn't mind. So he quickly speeds over and knees Shoji in the head, knocking him into a tree and knocking him out. And Tokoyami is surprised like this, like, this is not the time, Dark Shadow. Then Dark Shadow notices the other person, like, fresh meat. And then he leaps at Deku. And Deku's taken off guard by this. And Deku uses a Shadow Ball and with full power launches it at the Dark Shadow. And because he didn't know the power of this thing. And this completely evaporates Dark Shadow. And Tokoyami is scared, like, what are you gonna do? And then Deku's like, what am I gonna do? It's more so, what are we going to do? And when? Sweet dreams. And then he knocks him out. And so Deku gets these two. He's more so carrying them now. And he gets back to the hilltop they were at, and he places them down. Like, so that's two. Is there really no one else captured yet? What a bum. And then Deku sees Muscular come back up, and he's like, do we have anyone yet? And Deku's like, just these two, but they're not the objective. And it's like, well, I don't know why I can never figure out his name. It's the guy with the teeth quirk. I don't know. I'll try and figure it out as we go. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta figure that out. Okay, so I learned the name. It's Moonfish. So I'll continue on. So Musky was like, one of the targets is near Moonfish. And then Deku's like, understood. Converge on the target. And then they all gun for Bakugo and Todoroki because they're right over there, both of them. And Deku and Muscular and Toga all arrive, and they start pummeling the two students, and that's when Deku goes in for the finishing blow to knock them out. When suddenly Eraserhead arrives, and he's like, I won't fall for this trick, that trick this time. And he dodges one of Deku's shadow balls, and he's like, crap. And he disables Deku's quirk, but that's when he gets hit in the jaw and sent flying by Muscular. He's sent flying into the trees, and eventually Deku grabs both Bakugo and Todoroki with his arms, and he starts running to the hilltop, and Eraserhead is chasing them, and that's when both Toga and Muscular are now fighting him, and eventually Deku gets to the hilltop and is like, everyone, meet back to where we came. And that's when eventually everyone gets back, and they bring Eraserhead knocked out, and Deku's like, oh, that's a nice one, guys. And then he phones Shigaraaki like, mission complete. And Shigaraki's like, nice job, Izuku. You will be rewarded. And they go into the portal, and 2 weeks later, they hear a knock on the door. Then they hear pizza delivery, and Deku, right before this happens, prepared a shadow ball because he heard someone coming up the stairs. He's like, maybe it's a hero. And he sees All Might, and then he instinctively... Wait, why did I say All Might? All Might's dead. I mean, he sees Endeavor, and he shoots a shadow ball at him, and this launches Endeavor back into a nearby building, and he sees a giant javelin with a torrent of flames on it coming to him, and he's like, crap. Secure the hostages. And then he gets rammed in the chest by it, sending him into across the bar. He's like, tisk, tisk, tisk. Endeavor, the new number one hero. Let's see if I can knock down another number one. And then they start fighting. And that's when eventually Deku uses Dark Void on him, and Endeavor tries to stay awake, and he's like, I can't. And then Deku hits him in the back of the head, knocking him out into Dark Void. That's when Deku says with a maniacal tone, nightmare. And that happens, and he throws Endeavor into a building, and the police are waiting for him to get back up, but they see he's not getting back up. And then everyone starts to panic, like, was the number one hero just killed? Did this villain just do the impossible, the unthinkable, twice? And within 1 year? And then Deku rises above them, and then he prepares one massive shadow ball, and that's when he hears a loud bang, and then he realizes All for One's little place had been blown up, and he gets startled, like, oh no, boss is in trouble. And then he sees a gray liquid about to consume him, but before it consumes him fully, he throws the shadow ball down at the police, and it doesn't go well. So he arrives over there just to see all the other heroes are trying to defeat All for One, but All for One is just toying with them. Nobody can stand up to him, not even Best Jeanist, and everyone's getting destroyed. And then that's when they see this kid named Mirio and Night Eye show up. And Deku's like, interesting. And then Mirio starts going toe-to-toe with All For One, and Shigaraki and Deku are kind of worried, like, wait, did we not knock out One For All from the world? And then that's when Deku jumps in before All For One and Mirio were about to have a final clash. Deku jumps in and punches Mirio away. He's like, I got this for now, boss. And All For One's like, well, let's see how you do, Izuku. Let's see how you have progressed. And Deku starts pummeling Mirio. And this intrigues All For One. Like, maybe instead of Tomura, we could pick Izuku. He seems to be a lot more well-rounded and far superior in strength. And a kinda smarter. So, he's thinking about that, but that's when he sees Deku go flying, and then Deku gets up like, what the heck? How is a hero capable of this strength? And that's when he sees Mirio beat up and battered with one arm broken. And his other arm bruised up. And All For One's like, it's like, let me handle this. And then he makes a giant fist with all of his quirks, and then he charges at Mirio, and Mirio's like, I see the opening. And that's when he leaps at All For One, but then he uses permeation, and the fist goes through him, and All For One's like, impossible. And that's when, with a full 100% One For All, Mirio punches All For One straight in the face, but it wasn't a 1,000,000%, it was only 100. So Deku sees that it didn't affect All For One that much, and Mirio falls down to the ground like screaming because both of his arms are now dangling from his upper body. And Mirio's like, I will fight till the very end. And Deku's like, oh no, you don't. You gotta go through us before you even attempt to have another shot. And that's when Deku gets him in a full Nelson. It's like, Tomura, come here. We can finish him off now. And then All For One's like, no, don't. We need to preserve that power for us. And that's when Tomura nearly touches him, like, but don't you want to wipe it out? It's like, and All For One's like, maybe we can reunite the powers with One For All in me. And that's when Deku knocks Mirio out, and Night Eye is like, no way. Mirio is defeated. That's when he looks at Deku. It's like, you're the source of this. Mirio might have won if only. It's what I saw in the future. What did you make to change that? You didn't even know. How could you change it if it was meant to happen? And that's when Night Eye gets hit in the stomach like, nighty-night. And Night Eye falls to the ground like, this can't be happening. For All Might. And that's when he punches Deku in the jaw like, I won't let you win this easily. And Deku hits Night Eye back down like, know your place. Then he gets a Shadow Claw ready, and he is about to hit Night Eye. That's when he gets launched by a giant foot, and then he goes flying into a building like, what now? And then he sees his lady like, we can do this, guys. We can defeat the villains. And that's when All For One goes up to her level and punches her in the face. And then he steals your quirk. I'll be right back, guys. So yeah, guys, that's where we'll be leaving it off. Thanks for all the support recently. Let's hope we can get to 100 by the end of this month. We're at 82 subscribers, so looking nice. This is Determination signing off. Stay determined. Bye.
It's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely.